Talking Gotham. 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 Talking Gotham.
Welcome to Talking Gotham, episode 32. My name is Ryan Cam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This week we got more piggy shenanigans. We'll get into those. But first up, from 3D Movie Cinema, it was Jacob Collins, but he decided to take a break, I guess. So Matt Wyatt, how are you?
I'm doing good. I thought these had pretty solid episodes. I liked it. I kind of liked the third one a little bit more. But the dinner scene in the second episode, what Jake had mentioned off stream, felt very little bit of Hannibal Lecter meets Sweetie Todd.
It's like I'm gonna tell you right now. I thought episode 2 was the best episode. That was to me. This was Matt's reaction though.
Well, to be frank, I was bored off my ass 10 seconds into the thing. I was literally getting more and more pissed the longer it went on.
But let's get straight into it. This is season 4, episode number 8, called Stop Hitting Yourself. Matt?
He's wanted.
All I did was my job.
Nothing in Gotham is free.
Weird little title to come up with that one. But anyway, the episode aired on November 9th, 2017. Barbara, Selena, and Tabitha are dispatched by Cobblepot to kidnap Nigma. After learning of his popularity mocking Cobblepot in the Narrows, Cobblepot also dispatches Bridget to kill them in the case they fail. Arriving, Barbara is distracted by Lee and Tabitha recognizes Gilzine. After Tabitha defeats Gilzine, he begins remembering in a fight for Nigma. Bridget arrives, but Lee incapacitates her. She also becomes the new leader of the fights after Cherry is killed by Barbara. Meanwhile, Gordon is offered a promotion to be the new captain of Gotham Central, arranged by Sophia. Although initially hesitant, he takes the position when Bullock's bitterness and shame led him to missing out on a police ceremony. Cobblepot takes advantage of a mentally unstable orphan named Martin, aka Mini-Me, and psychologically manipulates him into his protege. But Gordon ends his partnership with Sophia.
Pretty good. I like Ed imitating the Penguin. I thought that was pretty good. And I thought Gordon getting promoted to captain, I thought that was really a strong part, I will say, I thought the scene that was the most powerful scene in the show is a scene where Gordon is handing the bullets out to because Bullock just ditches him and says, and he's like, oh, he said, here's what to do. And then Gordon just sits there and he's like, and I thought that was a great, powerful moment.
Yeah, when Gordon was trying to demote Bullock and leave him to his command so that he can take over as captain. But the one who was able to arrange all that was Sophia. And I'm telling you right now, I've been saying for a while, Sophia's playing both sides of the coin between Penguin and Gordon.
You find that out, this is the 3 episodes you find Gordon. Yeah. What did you think, though, Ryan, about that powerful scene with?
Yeah, that was fantastic. I think just in general, one of the best moments of the whole show.
When he tells Harvey, he said, why didn't you show up? And he goes, why? So they could spit in my face? He said, if that's what they wanted to do, then you should have stood there and you should have took it. He said, because that right there is they would have had your respect if you had done that. Instead, you didn't even show up. He said that right there. I absolutely love that moment between Gordon and Bullock when he's like, a captain he says, even if he screws up, he shows up and takes the licks. He doesn't just go out there and he doesn't, sit there and just blow them off because, that is he's not a captain is supposed to lead, not supposed to cower. And I thought that was great. And I understand Bullock is upset because he shot a cop, one of his own people. He shot her, which that was a mistake. It wasn't even his fault. He thought that was the pig. And so, and I think you could tell Sophia.
To be fair, he went inside and not listened to Gordon, that he was falling into a trap. So that was definitely on Bullock.
Which, yeah, that's true. What did you though think? I think honestly though, I do like Penguin sending Barbara and the sirens after Edward. I thought that was pretty good.
I don't know. This whole little side plot of that whole underground fight club thing, I did not like. And it was kind of a little bit odd that now Solomon grunting, Gilzine is now remembering for only a brief moment. I don't know. I didn't like it. It kind of felt very weak. And also with fucking Penguin's a little bit of a protege, which is it's obviously he's playing off the mini-me. He clearly does not speak. He literally acts like the little version of him. They literally took notes from Austin Powers. If you
call him
crazy, and I thought this whole little bit of that side plot was a little forced.
That's all we needed was him just Penguin go. I shall call him Mini-Me.
Mini-me. It literally was Austin Powers. He's literally trying to play out the Dr. Evil shit.
What did you think of what did you think about what's it called? First off, also Bruce is not in this episode. Him or Alfred, neither.
Wait,
one
what?
Of them
I thought it was this episode. I thought it
the next
or was it?
episode is the one
Oh
he
yeah.
pitches him.
Oh yeah. That was the next episode. Okay, I stand corrected. You're right.
I do like Selena knocking out Edward whenever like they show up at the club, and he says, "I thought you were supposed to be smart." I thought that was a really funny line. That to me made me laugh when she knocks him out. And then of course I like Penguin teaching a kid just to be like him, where where he basically is like and then of course the kid goes up there, lets the girl cheat off his test, and then he goes up there and starts crying, and then of course he goes, "What's wrong?" And then she goes up there and beats up the bully, which I'm like, first off, I had some issues with that, but I like the scene. But I'm like, there's some flaws in that. Like, for instance, if you're taking a test, what does teacher catch you? Hey, you're cheating off of her. And also, if a kid gets if a kid's crying or they get into a fight, a teacher, Penguin, they're just fighting and everyone's just fine with that. I'm like, what?
There's literally no staff around, no faculty to break up the fight. No one.
Yeah, really. I'm like,
a little odd.
Also,
Really not.
Barbara shooting Firefly's propane tank, making her fly across the room. I laughed at that one.
I was laughing. That was so funny with her shooting that tank on the back of that Firefly. That was pretty funny.
The only thing missing was a goofy yell. The Yahoo!
Although, we've seen in Batman versus Superman, if you shoot a propane tank, it blows up. It doesn't just go.
No,
goes,
it would blow.
boom.
You would blow up in flame. You'll be dead.
She would be not Firefly. She'd be Barbecue. I do like that Jim and Harvey falling out after Jim gets promoted, and Barbara just shoots like the Queen's an arrow in the head and proclaiming, "I'd like to announce we no longer work for Penguin." I thought that was great because she's like,
that felt very so subtle. That felt very sudden. Like, oh, yep, taking
I was
over.
not expecting her to get shot.
I was like, wait, what?
I was like, when Jesus shoots her, Barbara's like,
That's all you have to do. Just shoot the leader in the head, and it solves everything. Hey, I'm taking over.
I'm like, usually, I mean, yeah, which episode they look up to you, which that's why I hated that. I was like,
yeah,
they'd be trying to scour everybody. It'd be like Mad Max. Everybody be fighting for the throne.
Like, I don't like it. I didn't like that.
I do like Sophia pulling the strings and getting Jim promoted, and I like Jim realizing Sophia is using him to retake the city from Penguin.
And Bullock is not very happy about it. It's like, hey, how did you be able to pull this off? You're playing a little dirty.
When he said, "Be careful, because the bill's going to come due," I thought that was a great line. Yeah, because Jim. One thing I disliked about this episode, I didn't like the if you know the Penguin is crazy, laughing at Edward doing a Penguin impression, you're asking to be killed by the Penguin, especially when he's like, "Oh, look, you're doing the Penguin." The guy because they're trying to settle a debt between Barbara and them, and he goes, "Oh," and then all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, it's really funny, huh?" And he's like, "Ah."
I find it very weird that he's trying to impersonate the Penguin. Was that just to lure him there or something? I mean, what was the purpose of it?
I think honestly he's just taunting him because he's like, "Oh, he won't kill me because I'm a fool," And I think
since he won't kill him, then he'll taunt him and completely mock him.
Yeah.
His persona.
And plus he's got Grundy now, so I think that right there.
Yeah, since he's
like,
the muscle and he practically cannot die. He's indestructible.
Also, I think it's so stupid how you can just knock somebody in the head so many times and they'll remember.
No, I don't think it was the knock on the head. I don't think it was no, it was not a knock on the head. It was just him, the power of love of Tabitha. Tabitha? Huh? It's the power of love.
The power of love is a curious thing.
It's the power of love. I will say though, there's a terrible line delivery from Firefly when she shows up. She sounds like Rosie Perez when she said, she's like, "All right, everyone, Penguin's taken out. I'm like, oh god. I was like,
The line
I'm like-
delivery, it was so cringe. It was cringy.
I'm like, can we redo that line? If I'm the director, I'm like, hey, look, you're doing great, but let's just redo that line and say it more menacing. Don't say it like you're Rosie Perez, okay? Like, let's go like, you know, you're more tough and intimidating. Like, all right, everyone, it's you know, that instead don't be like, all right, everyone. I'm like, you can't take her seriously. It's like, all right, I got a flamethrower. All right, let's go. Come on. And you're like, why? Why?
That was such a poor
She
line
said-
delivery on
she
her
sounded-
part.
She sounded like a little kid for real.
Yeah,
I
she
think
sounded
they
like a little child
probably-
trying to play with fire.
It must be everybody else was doing a good take in that scene. And she was the only one doing a bad job, because literally everyone else was on cue, and she probably was like, they're like, oh, that's awful. I mean, but then again, you have like audio recording. You could have got her back later on and got
You
her
could have gone and done an ADR.
ADR. You know, I mean, like if Morbius, they can do that in Morbius. Like I don't see how they can't do it in Gotham.
Well, I guess they just were too lazy.
I do think I do like though. Like this episode is basically the first episode of Jim like and Harvey's relationship falling out, because they were partners, and then he became his captain. You know, and everything. And I think Harvey, yeah, Jim really like he's looked at him like a brother. You know, he's like, look, you know, you were my partner. You know, we used to work, you know, on the force, you know, and everything. And now it's like, you know, and instead now
I think,
Jim, and,
well,
you know,
he does feel bad about taking his place, but at the same time, he feel like he'll be a better fit to be a captain because he has a better leadership than Bullock. Because every time he makes poor choices and bad judge of character. Let's just be
between
honest,
making
that's
a deal
it's
with the
true.
Penguin. They made the deal with the Penguin.
Yeah, he made a deal with the Penguin, so that was on his part. That was on him.
What's up, Ryan?
The dirty little secret going on here is that Bullock is not good at his job.
Yeah, he's all about taking the easy way out, look the other way, and turn the other cheek.
Which I was respect Bullock though for he could have literally was like, I'm not going anywhere. You're gonna have to drag me out of here. Instead, Jim's like, look, you know, which he said Bullock's like, I'll be out of your hair in a couple of hours.
He
And
wanted
he's
to be
like-
he wanted to be the bigger man and just leave.
But Jim's like, there's a desk waiting for you when you return from your absence. And he goes, yeah, and then look at you walk around doing whatever. He's no.
We're going to scores now.
Okay.
Collins 1-10.
You know, I thought this was the Gordon moments in Bullock. That's my favorite part of this episode. So I would say about a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's the same score. It's a 6 out of 10.
Who cares?
I'm going to go a little higher, and I'm going to give this a 7. I like this a little bit more. Like I did think like the whole like mocking Penguin thing was fun. I did like it. I liked it a lot more than I expected to. But now let's move on to season 4, episode 8, called "Let Them Eat Pie." Matt.
On this city's heart. Now you're going to die.
The episode aired on November 16th, 2017. In a plot to launch an attack on Sophia's orphanage, Pig kills several homeless people and cooks their insides, stuffing them into pies. His base of operation is exposed by the GCPD, which Captain Gordon goes to investigate but is ambushed and captured by Pig. When dinner at the orphanage rounds up several of the rich and powerful, including Cobblepot, Pig launches his plan into motion, torturing the rich into cannibalism by way of eating the pies. Cobblepot's friendship with Sophia is ruined with Martin, acting as an insider for Cobblepot, tells them of her interactions with Gordon, confirming his suspicions. I will say that this was definitely a better episode, and I will agree, like I brought it up before, and I echo what Jake said off stream, that yeah, this definitely felt very much of a blockbuster haul of Hannibal, like the Silence of the Lamb meets Sweetie Todd.
Did anyone else notice the priest is dressed like Don DeLuise from like Casper?
Low-key, I thought he was kind of a rabbi.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Remember in Casper, the priest played by Don
Yeah,
DeLuise? Like, oh yeah, it's like going. I'm like, you know,
I'm not going there. I'm a professional.
Like, I was like, why is he dressed like Don DeLuise? I was like, why?
He kind of almost sounds like him too.
I'm not gonna lie though, those donuts did look really good.
I thought the scene where we see the bunch of the corpse and pigs are just eating off that dead corpse, that was so disturbing, even on a network show. But then, to be fair, they kind of did something similar with like cannibalism in fucking the
This
Hannibal
episode
series.
got controversy when it aired because they the cannibalism in it.
That was very disturbing.
Which I mean, like the first, I love that he poisoned like at the first. It's like he dressed like a priest, and he's like, "Eat, my children, eat," and then they all die because he poisons the food, and then he just takes their bodies, and then he's like, "I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna cook them," and then he's gonna feed it to the rich. I'm like, that is so dark.
Yeah,
and
he puts in the people on the round table, the rich and powerful, and then they have them eat one of the
homeless
dead
people.
homeless people out of their pie,
Meat pies.
meat pies.
Which I'm not gonna lie, those meat pies look delicious.
Except there's people in it, but yeah.
They're definitely going full Sweeney Todd in this episode.
And he even sings. He even sings.
Yeah, that was the one thing that took me out of it in this episode of him singing. It's like, are we in a Sweeney Todd movie now? They sprinkled in the little musical numbers.
As usual, I have to say I actually kind of liked the music number a little bit. Like he had it coming. He had it coming. It was very Chicago. I liked it.
I find it. Oh no, go on, Jake.
No, I was just gonna say my question is, if he's eating if he's feeding poisons these homeless people and he's feeding the rich the meat of the homeless people, technically aren't they poisoned still? So isn't they feeding them poison?
Yeah, isn't it in their system?
Like if I shoot a deer with a poison arrow and then I can't use that deer meat because the meat's poison.
Yeah, that logic was a little off.
So they should be like,
especially when you had Cobblepot chewing the fucking pie, because out of the threat to the little boy, it's just like, wow, shouldn't he be almost dead? Because the poison was still in the homeless people in their system.
I mean,
that was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny the way he was eating that fucking pie, just grabbing it and shoving it in his mouth and nearly gagging. It's like, I was like, was he like growling like a pig, literally?
I
do like Professor.
It's in his name.
I do like Professor Pig calling Jim on the phone and everything. And one thing I also liked about that Professor Pig impersonating the chef, serving Sophia the meat pies and everything, and Jim getting the drop on Pig. I remember when they went to the factory and they get a drop on him and everything, and then Professor Pig sneaks up behind her, which I had such an issue with that scene because he holds her, and then instead of doing this, he's like holding Jim like that. I'm like, dude, he could shoot you in the head and nothing would happen to her. Because you literally don't have the gun. I thought if you shouldn't have the gun to her head, because he's like, if you shoot me, I pulled the trigger. Instead, he's like, if you shoot me, I kill her. But I'm like, he could shoot you right now. The only person that's going to get shot is by Gordon. That's it. It's like,
yeah, you should have pointed the gun at the little boy to get your leverage instead of pointing out right across the room.
The scene with him and Ramirez. They go into the factory and they find the homeless person.
Oh yeah,
and then they see in the truck and everything, and the Professor Big sneaks up behind him and goes, and says, "Don't." He says, which I'm like, which I do like that sequence.
Oh yeah. With his partner on the job. Yeah, I remember now.
What'd you think though about when he sneaks up and Professor Pig hires mercenaries, and then he's like, they're like, and then he knocks out the mercenary, and then Professor Pig comes up from behind and goes. He goes, and he says something funny. What was it? He says, Professor Pig's, hold on, I'm looking at my notes. Professor Pig, getting the drop. Oh yeah, knock him out and say, Jim is an impressive detective.
He's an impressive detective.
The dinner party.
I got a one question. Did you really think that Sophia was going to be able to eat the pie? Could put us in the suspense. Did you really think she was going to do it?
I thought she was going to do it because I'm like, but I think she was committed to doing it.
Well, no, I knew that she was going to eat it, but that would have been so fucking crazy if she was able to do it without Jim coming in and interfering.
I do think when he stabs her in the hand, and then all of a sudden he says, "If you pull that out, the next one goes in her eye."
I like the part where the Cobblepot takes the screw out of her hand and stabbed the fucking old guy for being an asshole. Say, no, kill the little kid. He's nobody. I was like, oh fuck! Just jammed it into his skull.
Everybody, where's everybody?
Yeah!
I like whenever he made everybody else.
Dude, like sit down, spaz.
Remember when he yelled at everybody? He's like, everyone else, eat, or I will kill you.
I'll kill you! Hunt you down! I was like, God damn, dude, calm down, bro.
Professor, I do like Professor Pig.
Big on those pies.
And also
He really wants that Emmy.
What'd you think about Professor Pig fighting Jim at the end? Because when he come in, which Penguin knocked the gun out. I said,
dude, he was throwing a bunch of throwing knives at him,
Matrix
and then he fucking did the Matrix style on his ass, like. Ooh.
I'm like, what is this?
I was like, what the fuck is this? The Matrix?
He does like literally.
I didn't know that the pig had skill in combat at throwing knives.
He just throws the knife in slow motion. He goes.
He just does this like. He went all Matrix shit on him.
Someone must have really watched The Matrix and it's like, I got a cool idea for Professor Pig, guys.
Hey, I got a cool idea. Let's do the Matrix. Instead of dodging bullets, dodging knives.
They really thought that was gonna do that's gonna get me the directing.
That scene felt so silly.
I do like which I said I'm not a professional at this, but would a knife really get you get a pocket knife or a buck knife, whatever he had, get the hinges off the door?
I have no idea. I'm not an expert either. So
what'd you think about Jim, Alfred and Bruce in the forest?
I thought it was pretty good. It definitely was the B plot, but I thought it was good for what it was.
Remember when we were shocked when Bruce just gets on the car and leaves Alfred in the middle of nowhere?
I knew he was gonna pull that shit. And then when Alfred's been trying to talk out of Bruce to get his head out of the cloud, he has to tell us his little backstory of meeting his father and how he was in a much darker place. He kind of felt like he was in the same position as him, and it was like, I dropped the key, I dropped the rock, and then he has to go into the car and just fucking takes off and fucking drives off. Like I knew that was coming.
What'd you think about though Alfred just showing up at Wayne Manor and he smashes the record player? He's like, and then Bruce is like, "Hey, Alfred," and then and he says, "Everyone out now," and he goes, "No, don't go anywhere. You work for me, okay?" And he goes, and then the one guy gets up, Tommy Elliott gets up and goes, "Yeah." He goes, "What's wrong with your butler, huh?" And he goes, "I will knock your ass out. Sit back."
Dude, he was making fun of his accent too.
Wow. He says,
I was like, Alfred was not having it. It's like, dude, he will beat your ass.
Yeah, so he said, "I'll knock your ass." And then he sits back down. He goes, "Okay." He said, "Why don't we go to
he didn't sit back down. He just fucking dipped out of the fucking mansion.
He's like, "Yeah, let's go. We're gonna go to my club." And then Bruce is like, "Alfred, well, I'm tired of Bruce is he said
they were talking for like at least a couple of minutes, and how the hell he was able to catch up with them? They took off and left. He was like, "Hey, Tom," I was like, dude, they fucking left. You were talking a couple of minutes. You might have missed them.
I hated when Bruce saying, "If you really wanted to help me, be my butler, not my father, and clean this place up."
He was basically being a dick.
I understand he's being an asshole because he killed Ra's al Ghul, and so
I know he's processing his grief. He's trying to process his grief and going on the drinking and partying. This is suppressing this trauma.
I just thought that I really hated Bruce doing that, but I thought Alfred was in the right. Bruce is literally okay, you're drinking your life, partying, trying to get rid of the drama, but it's Gotham. This isn't like you can ignore your problems, but they're still your problems. They're still going to be there in the morning, Yeah. I do like Gordon arresting Professor Pig and bringing him into the squad car. I just like the Professor Pig doesn't even I'm like that to me when I saw him get arrested. I'm like that's too simple. Why is he he's just going quietly? I'm like that just makes me huh.
That makes me a little bit of suspicious that he's got something up his plate.
He's just it's almost like he's expected to be caught.
Yeah, it felt like that. Like this cannot be that easy.
Or he wanted to.
Like they're. Oh yeah. It kind of feels like they're playing off the Heath Ledger style, where he wanted to be caught for his little grand plan.
I put in my notes. Apparently, John Stevens, who is a new showrunner for Gotham, as him and Danny Cannon, who was the showrunner for the previous 3 seasons with Bruno Heller, are ripping off Sweeney Todd now. Apparently they're big fans of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Which I don't. That was just the weirdest thing when he started singing. Especially they put a spotlight on him and he's like starts singing, and I'm just like, oh wow.
Yeah,
crap.
this is another blockbuster haul for two major movies: The Silence of the Lamb and meets Sweeney Todd.
It's still a good episode. I just think like what they must have watched Sweeney Todd the night before when they were writing the episode. Like I got a good idea.
Well, you did say that they're fans of the movie, so they I don't think they just watch it right after that.
They're like, all right, hey, I got an idea. What if Professor Pig was like Sweeney Todd and Hannibal Lecter? Which he's very theatrical. You got to admit, Professor Pig, a serial killer that just goes around killing people in a pig mask.
Well, he's going around for killing the rich and the corrupt for a purpose.
It would have been such a cooler idea if he would have got like a following, like the piglets.
He might have, for all we know, he could have a following.
Which I do like, yeah, but I thought this was a really good episode. I like that Bruce and Alfred's relationship is deteriorating. And I do like that Bullock, at the beginning of the episode, Bullock is cleaning out his desk. And when Gordon tells him, there's always a desk for you here, and he goes, and sit there and watch you? No.
And it looks like the Sophia and Gordon's relationship is deteriorating as well.
Yeah.
Like since now that Gordon's now the captain, he's not going to play out her game.
Which he brought her here, so.
That's true. He did. But he
You
realized
let the genie out
that he knows that he cannot trust her, that she has a different angle.
It's like literally all you had to do was you literally brought somebody you didn't fully. It's like the line in the Dark Knight. You got somebody you didn't fully understand because you got desperate.
Exactly.
Yeah, you squeeze them and you hammer it at the point of desperation.
And then you let Sophia in here, which I'm liking that. I'm liking where it's going. What about you,
same.
Ryan?
Right, Collins, what's your score?
I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Wow, you really like it that much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
I'll give it
Matt?
a 7. I'll give it a 7.5.
Collins, get the finger ready because I'm scoring with you. I'm going 9 as well. This is not only one of my favorite episodes of this season, it's one of my favorite episodes of the show entirely. The last episode this week, this is season 4, episode 10, called Things That Go Boom.
The episode aired on November 30th, 2017. Gordon visits the pig in Arkham Asylum after Fox deduces that the pig has undergone
Shut when you think about it.
This is what happens when you interrupt me like that. What? Since now you just got me off track. Thanks a lot, asshole. Pig has undergone numerous facial surgeries. Fox learns that he was a serial killer named Laszlo Valentine. The pig later breaks out of Arkham, and in the Narrows, Thompson and Nigma are faced with a rival mobster, Samson, who challenges her leadership. After Samson ransacks Thompson's clinic, she poisons his drink and offers an antidote on the condition that he resigned from power in the Narrows. Thompkins also learns that Nigma's side effects from being frozen have been worn off. Nigma begins having hallucinations of his dual personality, the Riddler. Cobblepot confronts Sophia and has her tortured by the dentist, one of Cobblepot's assets. As part of an intricate plan, Sophia flees but is kidnapped by Barbara, Tabitha, and Selena. The four ally in after Zaz blows up Barbara's safe house. They use Martin as leverage against Cobblepot, while Gordon learns of Sophia's intentions to use the GCPD against Cobblepot, Gordon's promotion. The two factions meet under a bridge in Cobblepot fakes Martin's death in a car bombing to force Sophia to retreat, declaring war. I will say that this is definitely my favorite of the 3 episodes. It really starts to kick it into a high gear about the rivalry war between Sophia and Cobblepot, and Gordon smacked in the middle of it.
This episode reminds me of The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's true.
It just reminds me.
Looks very similar.
That's like the episode reminds me so much of The Dark Knight because it's like, okay, so if you take Joker out and put Sophia, it's The Dark Knight. Like she basically is causing chaos, you know, between Gordon and Penguin and everything. It's like that. It's
She clearly wants them to kill off each other so that she can take control over Gotham and fulfill her legacy of her family's name.
The opening of this is Professor Pig stabbing someone with a vinyl record. Can't say I
that
didn't
was
see
great. I love
one
that.
coming.
He's like doing this.
Or when he got like socked in the face and that whole cheekbone just pushes it back together because he had a fucking surgery.
Yeah, Professor Pig listening to classic music and then punching him in the face, and he kills the inmate. I thought that was great. The only thing is, wouldn't the other inmates help Professor? Why would the other inmates help Professor Pig contain the guards from entering? That makes no sense, though.
Yeah,
Maybe they don't like him that much.
Maybe
he makes good food. It's like, did you enjoy that meal? Well, that's great. I cooked his finger. I hope you like finger food.
But
I was waiting for Matt to play. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. I was waiting for that.
He doesn't have that one yet.
Oh, it's a shame.
That's a good one to add, though.
Yeah. If only. What do you think about Penguin getting a dentist to torture Sophia?
Interesting.
yeah, but the way she was able to talk her way out of it, which I thought was pretty odd. And then they had the dentist just fucking
she's a
do
foul
the
person.
Yeah, she is a Falcone.
It's in her DNA to be a cruel person.
Well, I know that part, but how she was able to do that and how I was able to talk him out of it, I know that's in her name, but goddamn, I don't think I would buy into it.
In season 1, the Penguin calls a guy on the phone that's crushing the car with him inside of it and says, I know, hey, so I'm an informant of Falcone. He will kill your whole family if I die. And then the guy just opens the thing up and then runs away. I mean, that happens. What'd you think about Jim interrogating Professor Pig at Arkham? When he slips into a Southern accent, that was the fakest accent I've ever heard. It looked like someone audio dubbed over him. Let me tell you something, man. Like, what?
Yeah, Pig, you were never Southern up to this point, and now all of a sudden it's like you're trying out to be like, oh, if you will, like, come on now.
Daniel's Craig's Knives Out accent sounds more real.
I suspect foul play. I have eliminated no suspects.
That's what I don't understand.
Tails in a cobweb.
Yeah. I suspect murder. I just like that. That is a better accent than this one. He's like, let me tell you something. No one walks away from me. I'm just like, what is this accent? First off, I don't believe it's real. Secondly, I don't believe they're like, there you are. I'm like, Professor Pig sounds more like a real accent than this one. Like, let me tell you something, man.
The whole one of my least favorite moment was Thompson's side quest to take over that one little mob leadership thing. I didn't care for that. That was a very pointless episode in this episode. I didn't like it.
I thought about, Matt? This is what it reminded me of.
Well, to be frank, I was bored off my ass 10 seconds into the thing. I was literally getting more and more pissed the longer it went on.
And it turns out that Enigma there was nothing wrong with Enigma. It was just all in his head because he got rid of the persona of the Riddler and embraced a little bit more of Enigma. But then when he realizes that, then now his whole little dual darker half of him comes returning, emerges.
I like Penguin getting tortured and Sophia manipulating Dennis and killing his henchman and freeing her. I thought that was good. Barbara kidnapping Sophia and trying to get her to manipulate Penguin, but it backfires. That the first time I thought that was great when she goes, we had a falling out, and she goes, oh, so and Gordon and Penguin teaming up to get Sophia out of town, and then Victor blowing up the Sirens Club with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, that was very extreme.
Like, what if it would have killed them?
Yeah, it probably would have killed them. There's no way that they would have gotten out of the building on time.
Matt was so angry too. He was like really? He's like, you could have killed all three of them.
Like,
and then,
I
why
believe it
would
was
they?
in this episode. Barbara and Lee shared screen time together. I'm like, Matt's head didn't split open, like split right down the middle. Like, these people.
I do like Oswald blowing up the car with a little boy inside.
Yeah, but I never really thought that he was actually going to kill the little boy, that he had an escape hatch underneath the fucking car. I knew that was coming, that he faked it. To make him believe that he's really ruthless, that I'm not to be used as leverage, not to have the kid to be used as leverage and using my weaknesses against me.
This was
Like, there's no way in hell I'm going to buy that, because he loved that boy way too much to really go bold and kill him off and blow him to the kingdom come.
This was mine and Ryan's reaction to watching it.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that's way worse.
I do like that Sophia not expecting Oswald to blow up caught her off guard. That was pretty good. I hated the whole Lee, and then Lee and the fat guy that has the poison. Which, first off, why are you eating outside? Okay, like literally, you're like, oh, this is my layout, the back of an alley.
Hey, this is my little territory. I'm eating out in the back alley having dinner. Like, what? Who does that at outdoor?
There's flies and there's a homeless guy shit right there. Okay, guys.
I didn't even know who this fucking guy was. He was just out of nowhere. Like, where did you come from?
The henchman from Kick-Ass.
Dinner al fresco.
Yeah, I recognized the henchman, the guy who was in Kick-Ass.
Well, the rocket launcher, the one that hit girl, is like a bazooka. I'm going to get the bazooka, and he goes, bazooka.
What the fuck?
So I do Professor Pig escaping from Arkham and leaving a note. That's very much like Batman. That is Batman Forever. If you watch the deleted scene, the opening for Batman Forever was originally Arkham Asylum, and then like Dr. Burton goes into the asylum and sees Two-Face laying on the floor, and then picks up, and it's like a little thing. It spins the inmate around, and then there's written in blood on the wall. It says the Bat will die.
Yeah.
That right there reminds me of that so much. I'm like, oh, they must because this Professor Pig is a dead guy, and then all of a sudden, blood on the wall. It says, like, there's, you'll see me again, Jim Gordon. I'm like, he's basically Jigsaw, leaving clues like the game will continue. I'm like,
the game will continue. I want to play the game.
Also, Professor Fig, I hated that Professor Fig had facial reconstruction surgery. That's so stupid.
Yeah, like, who was this guy? He was a serial killer before we meet this guy. Laszlo Valentine is the alias of Professor Pig in the comics. A penguin befriending a child is just weird. Yeah.
Lee and the whole mob guy thing is stupid. It makes no sense. How come they take everything? The
Lee and the mob subplot was really pointless.
Oh, they robbed all of us, but they didn't take the poison cure that we're going to kill him with. I'm like, what?
That makes no sense when he ransacked and he couldn't get everything. I
do like Sophia's reaction to the little boy getting blown up was funny. It makes no sense how a kid's able to escape a car explosion like that. That's like Fast and Furious logic. How Hans escaped his explosion.
Yeah, well, he was able to sneak out underneath that car and crawled his way and run. But how did they not see him? Run away. It's like, dude, you're literally not that far away. You're literally out in the open. Like, how the hell did it not spot you running out of the damn car when you're going underneath the car and then dipping out?
It's like, this is how I felt watching it.
Bullshit.
No, this is how Matt felt watching it.
I have a few questions, starting with what the fuck?
Like, how do you get blown up and then you're able, like, I'm like, there's no way he's alive. There's no way.
Yeah, but there's no way. But also, there's no way that you would never be spotted. You're literally...
You what?
I mean, you're literally, like, out in the open. Like, how did they not spot you? That makes no sense.
Matt, yeah, I just, when they're sitting there in the sewers and they're like, oh, he went through this. I'm like,
I just think that it would have been even more bold if they actually killed him off for real. But I guess it
shows how cool Penguin is. I think that would have.
Yeah, it just shows you that he has a soft spot for children, because his protege that revolves around him reflects on him, and his connection because he cares about him too much.
Yeah.
That he's not like that cold. I mean, he may be a cold-blooded killer, but he's not that cold.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd have been so much easier to kill him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like Jeffrey Epstein or something. I don't know. Or Michael.
Wait. little overstepping.
Also, it was stupid that like Sophia was going away and then Victor. How did Victor get on the train? Also, he didn't know that she was leaving that way. He somehow, what did he do? Like get a like, grappling hook and get shot onto the train, and he's like,
he probably followed her to the train.
But he didn't know that they were even going. Like it wasn't like he has like tabs. Someone's like, "Hey, Penguin, yeah, he's taking Sophia to the train." Which that was clever planning by Sophia.
Yeah, that was clearly like part of her little plan. And I've been saying for a while, like I know I don't never trust her to begin with. She's literally playing both sides, playing both of them, Gordon and Penguin.
And she's playing less than she's playing war. She's like, I'm going to turn the cops and the Penguin against each other and start war in this town.
Yep. So that way she'll sleek in and take over, and taking over the family business.
I mean, she is crazy in the comics, just like I would say Penguin, the show Penguin, it does a more accurate portrayal of Sophia Falcone. She is that crazy.
At least she had more gravitas because her plan was never to take over. Hers was just to get rid of the Falcone name after everything she went through. After her father had her fucking committed to an insane asylum for the crime she never committed.
He's talking about the show Penguin, Ryan. That's what
yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
Because I was just wondering if I was confused. Like, that's not in the show. I don't see it. It's like, no, they're talking about the show Penguin, which I love Sophia in that show. I thought Sophia was great.
Yeah, I love that show. She was great.
This one, I'm like, she's fine.
She's just more of a spoiled brat that just wants daddy's attention and just want to take on that name. That's all. What I want. That's literally all what her character is. Really, she doesn't really add any gravitas.
Did she sleep with Gordon?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I mean, they made out, but they probably, I don't know if they went to Pound Town.
I don't know. I'm like, I could have sworn
it either has happened or is about to happen.
Well, I don't think it's about to happen since now that ship has sailed after this episode.
Yeah, but going to ratings, unless you guys have something else to say, add to it.
No, I'll go.
What's your score?
Yeah, what's your score?
7 out of 10.
Okay, Matt.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Ooh, I'm gonna split the uprights. I'll go 7.5. Definitely step down from the second one.
Look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry.
That was actually clever, man. I thought that was a clever one.
But go on, Ryan.
All right, but I pass it off to all of you. What did you think of these three? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. And next week, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're at the mid-season finale, and we'll be watching that watch-along style, so stay tuned for that. But it's a privilege to do this show with these guys every week, and it's a privilege to do Small Zero with these guys every week. By the time this drops on Friday, we will be doing our live show. We'll be joined by TJ from Blacktastic Media, and we will be covering CinemaCon and all of the developments that have dropped from that. But and also shout out once again to Robert Meyer Burnett, who joined us last week. It was a great time having him on. He's welcome anytime, and we just had a fantastic time, and more Small Zero content is coming down the road. Thank you all for suffering through the Evil Bong watch party with us if you were a part of that. But Collins, tell the people where they can find you.
They can find me at Bong World from Evil Bong, with all the topless strippers. But no, they can find me at 3D Movie Cinema, where I had just dropped my review from. By the time this airs, well, actually no, because it airs soon. I dropped my review from Batman Begins, and then of course I will drop when we do Small Zero. By the time we do Small Zero Friday for CinemaCon, I will have dropped my review for The Dark Knight. You know, because I've realized I've never reviewed that movie on my channel. I'm like, that's one of the greatest movies of all. I'm like, I can't believe I haven't. So I'm reviewing The Dark Knight And then, of course, we do Small Zeros every Friday, which by the time CinemaCon started today, like people don't realize CinemaCon already started today. This is a Monday, okay? CinemaCon's already started. Me and Matt will literally go from this to watching paying attention to all the CinemaCon coverage and writing it down and stuff for Friday's show. That's how like committed we are for the Small Zero crowd. Okay, we don't sleep, we don't eat, we don't drink. We literally committed to the topics at hand. And Matt works his butt off to get these clips out to you guys on hand. Okay, Matt. Before we came on, Matt was editing the next clip to drop online. So the hardest working guy right here, Matt.
Legit, like Matt does so much for the channel behind the scenes, like you have no idea. And we are really grateful for that. But Matt, what do you have coming up?
Well, I just dropped my review for the drama and Super Mario Galaxy. Check that out. And I just recently dropped the clip for Supergirl trailer discussion with Robert Meyer Burnett on the Small Zero channel. So it's definitely had I had to edit out a couple things, and then I put out still images and even some of the clips. So that it's like right around like 26 minutes long. We had what was the Hellraiser topic that I had to chop out because it didn't have anything related topic to that whatsoever, so I had to chop that part out of it. But definitely watch it; it's really good, and I recommend it. But there's still, if you want to watch the full uncut version, it's still there; it hasn't gone away.
Yep, all the links down below. Subscribe to them over there. Subscribe to Small Zero. We're only going up, folks. And as far as my channel goes, I'm going to be dropping the next 96 project video. Got a small series covering some mummy-related things in honor of Lee Cronin's The Mummy, so stay tuned for that. And more fun stuff down the road. But for Collins, for Matt, my name is Ryan Camp. Stay off the streets of Gotham. They are not safe. We'll see you all in the next one. Y'all.
Sharpton for president, y'all. I'm outie.
Jesse Jackson for VP.